Banking is a sector which always goes through cycles. It's always been what we call as a credit-led crisis. So when we look at 1998, the Asian financial crisis, there's too much credit in the system compared to the stage of the economy. The 2008 global financial crisis was caused by over-leveraged banks. Yeah. This time, there are indeed signs of a credit-led crisis. What's different is two things. One is technology-led disruption. So technology-led disruption, which is happening at the same time, which allows startups as well as attackers to disrupt what were traditionally profitable parts of the banking system. And a much higher degree of regulatory openness. So regulators are allowing technology-led attackers to enter financial services much more open than it has ever been in the past. Three big imperatives as we look ahead are important in order to beat the odds. First is still remain thoughtful about growth pockets. Asia is a region which will still see a lot of growth. Second is leadership in digital. And third is changing and rethinking what enablers are required for the organization to deliver on growth as well as lead in digital. When we talk about growth pockets, right, three big ideas. First is 1 billion unbanked people which exist in Asia. 1 billion people who have no access to financial services, and that just points to an era of growth which still lies ahead. Second is affluence. So the middle class in Asia is getting richer and richer by the day as the economic conditions improve, and we expect $15 billion of additional wealth to get created and serving this segment of consumers very differently. And third is small and medium enterprises, which underpin economic growth in each of the emerging economies, and serving them in a very different way and serving and addressing their needs is going to be a big area of growth for banks going forward. When we talk about the second category in terms of driving leadership in digital, this comes in two main themes. The first is building new digital businesses, which is almost think of it as replicating the fintech attackers within the banks. And we have seen more than 20 new digital businesses built in Asia by banks over the last few years, and there is more to come. The second, which is much harder, is driving a digital transformation at the core. And the big imperative over here is to reduce costs. Cost ratios in banking in Asia have never been systematically addressed because of the golden decade which we have seen. But there's a real opportunity to do that, and that's going to be extremely important. The third element is what we call as enabling the organization to deliver differently. And this comes in three parts. First is thinking about partnerships and thinking about an ecosystem as opposed to banking on its own. The industry and technology and consumers are behaving very differently, and we see that there is a much larger mobile ecosystem which banks can play in than just worrying about banking. The second element about this is rethinking about organization structure. Organization structures in banks have largely grown to become bureaucratic, and you require far more agile organizations in order to deliver on this digital disruption, and rethinking structure and governance in order to enable that. And third is talent. Talent in banking has always been about smart, quantitative people. You require very different talent who is far more knowledgeable about technology inbuilt in them, which will be required in order to deliver on this digital leadership going forward. The most important thing to remember is digital together with technology. People get excited about digital, which is all about consumers, all about apps, all about new things, but there's real hard work which is to be done on technology infrastructure in order to make sure that you are set up for success, not just now, but for a decade going forward. And making sure that there is enough attention, equal attention on digital as well as technology is what is the most important imperative going forward.